folks. Fabulous. We've got a new link working. Happy to see you all here. This is our first ever live Facebook event. Thank you for bearing with us through the technical difficulties of getting Facebook Live up and running. I'm new to this, really excited to have folks here. We're just going to give a few minutes for folks who were sort of looking to join on the other event that we had to cancel because we couldn't get our screen share working. We're going to give them a few minutes to join us on this new event. Just 1 second, and then we'll get started with solving today's games. So happy to be trying this out with you all. Happy to have folks here. Really excited to try this out. We'll give it another minute or two. Get some folks from our other event that we had to wind down over into this event, and then we will start solving our puzzles today. Hopefully this becomes a more regular event. Sarah, glad you were able to wind your way into this event from our old event. Thank you for your patience, and apologies everyone that I don't have video today. We're gonna have to figure out a new setup for these events to both be able to get video and screen sharing. So let's see. I'm going to start the way I usually do. I tend to start with fields. I know everyone has different opinions about which puzzles they start with, but I tend to start with fields. I find that fields is a puzzle where sometimes I get stumped. I'll leave the puzzle, I'll come back to it, and I suddenly see something that didn't exist before. So that may happen today. We may get stumped while we're solving our fields puzzle. But if we do, we can always take a break, go to stars, work on stars. If we get stumped there, come on back. So let's get started. Today's field puzzle is a Thursday puzzle, which is fairly hard, but we've had a lot of folks requesting that we do some field solves, so let's see if we can do it. All right, so play today's puzzle. Yikes, this is a big board. So the first thing that I do when I look at a fields board is look and see if there are any, what my friend Bolu calls gimmies. Are there any really obvious moves that we have to make? So often those are cells that have a 1 in them, meaning the field is already complete. Or, whoops, I was just trying to clean up my windows so I can focus on my puzzle here. Or cells like this. So I see a 5 and a 5. These are 2 green fields. We know they can't connect. So I'll just do the wrong thing first to show it to you guys. If this was green, those 2 fields would connect. So I know that this can't be green and this has to be blue. Another gimme that I tend to look for is if I see 2 of the same color that are diagonal. If this was blue or if this one was blue, then the fields would connect. So in both of these cases, I know that these 2 cells have to be green. I'm also getting a notification from Facebook that I need to change my frame rate. So let me go see if I can do that. 1 second, make sure that you all see the full um, stream that's coming through. So let's see, how do I do that? Settings, stream. All right, let's try switching our frame rates. They're coming through to you all. Hopefully this is helpful. Let us know if the video isn't working for you. And here we go. So I sort of punched in my gimmies here. I knew that these two had to be separated and these two had to be separated, and I don't see any other immediate gimmies. But what this did do is I now have a green field, and I know it needs to grow to connect to a numbered cell to become part of a numbered field. So the only way this green cell can grow is to the right. And again, it's still not connected to a numbered field. The only way it can grow is up. Still not connected to a green field. Again, the only way it can grow is up. Now it's connected to a green field, and in fact, that green field is now complete. It has 5 green cells. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give that a border. We're going to put blues around it because we know it can't touch any other greens. I also see this blue cell right now is sort of an island on its own. It needs to be connected to a blue field. The only way it can grow is left, so I'll make this cell blue. And in doing that, just like before, this is now 5 blue cells. It's a complete field, which means it can't touch any other fields, so any other blue cells or blue fields, so it also needs a border. So I'm going to go green, 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 because none of those can be blue, otherwise that field would be larger than 5. This one can't be blue either, because that field will be larger than 5. But remember, and this is a tricky thing, we leave this one available. This one could be blue. It's not like stars where we have to worry about the diagonals. In fields, it's just the cells that are completely orthogonal are the ones that are touching. Feel free to leave comments in the chat as I'm going, if I'm going too fast or if you need me to clarify, but I'm just going to keep going here. The next thing I notice is that I've got this green 5 that's a 2. So right now has 2 cells, and I have 4 green cells here that aren't connected to a number. And so I'm thinking, what number are they going to connect to? Might they connect to the 8, the 6? But I know that I can't connect them to the 5 because if I did, let's just do it for the sake of it, if I did, that is far more than 5 cells. That's 7, 8 cells. So I know that this one actually has to be blue. Now, this field of 5 is now contained on basically 3 sides, but it's only 2 cells, and so I know it needs to grow. So I'm going to grow it up. Now it's 3 cells. It still needs to be bigger. I'm going to grow it up again. Now this field of 5 is 4 cells, and now it has 2 different directions it could grow. It could grow to the left, or it could grow up. And I actually don't know yet which way it's going to grow. I do know, though, that we're at 4 cells, and it's only going to grow a single cell. It's going to grow 1 cell up or 1 cell to the left. Again, don't know which way, but one thing I do know is whichever way it grows, it's going to need a blue border, and that blue border, whether it's up or to the left, includes this cell. So this is one of those like advanced look ahead moves that on the earlier fields puzzles, Monday and Tuesday, you may not need this, but as you get later in the week, you have to be able to visualize, even if the sort of tail of this, let's call it a snake, goes up or to the left, it's going to need a blue border around it. And so trying to visualize this cell regardless is going to be blue. There may be more to do up here right now, but I feel like I've sort of hit a dead end, and that's okay. So I'm going to go look for other spots on the board where I can keep solving. And the one that pops out to me is this 6. This cell needs to grow to become larger. I'm going to grow it to the left because it's the only direction it can grow. So there we go. Now it could go up or to the left. I see that if it goes up, it'll dead end. It could go up, but it could max go up 1. If it went up 2, it would start interfering with the 4, or if it went up and to the left, it would interfere with the 4 as well. So it may go up, which would be a third cell, but I need 6 cells. And so what that tells me is regardless of what happens, if it goes up, it still also is going to need to keep going to the left at least 2 or 3 more. So I can keep bringing it over. 1, 2, 3. And the reason I can do that is we haven't finished this field of 6, right? It's only 5 now. It needs 1 more to be complete. And that 1 could be here, but no more beyond there. That 1 could be here, or that 1 could be here. Don't know which it is yet, but that really helped me at least grow that field a significant amount. The other thing that doing that did was it tells me what's going to happen here. These are 2 blue fields, and I need to separate them. So I'm going to put a green cell in here. That makes them, because I need to separate them. And let's see if that helps me out at all with anything else. I think the next thing I'm doing is I'm looking at this green, 1, 2, 3, 4. It seems very likely right now. It's either going to connect to the 6, 5, 6, or to the 8. And what I realize is if I connected it to the 6, and to put a blue border around it would mean that we would need these cells to be blue, which would merge my 4 and my 6 fields. So I realized that I can't connect this to the 6 because, again, then these would all be blue, and that would be one massive blue field. So instead, I know that these green cells actually have to connect to the 8. And the only way to do that is through this cell. So let's see. Is this 8 complete yet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is not. And it has a lot of different ways it could grow. It's not constrained in many directions. But we can block in some new information now. So one new piece of information is that we don't want this cell to be a green because that would merge those fields. So let's make that one blue. The other new piece of information now is that this 6 is fairly contained. Oops, sorry about that. This 6 is fairly contained now, and it needs 1 cell to finish, and it could go up or to the left, and much like before, we don't know which way it goes, but regardless, this one has to be a green. If it goes to the left, it needs a green border. If it goes up, it needs a green border. Super helpful information. And what that information actually tells us is our next step, which is we need to separate this green field from this green field. So let's put our blue in there to separate them, which actually is the final in our field of 6 here. So now we'll do the same. We'll get that field of 6, its green border. Both of those are now part of that 6 field. I notice here now I have 2 greens in 2 different fields in a diagonal. They need a blue to separate them. Let's see, what else do I know here? This 8, it still needs to grow. It's going to grow either here or here. Does that tell me yet? Can I figure out which way it goes? I'm not sure I have the logic to narrow out one of those. If it was green here, I would need blues. That would be fine. If it was green here, I would need a blue here. That seems fine as well. So I actually don't think I have the logic there to finish that out. How's it going? Anyone in the chat want to let me know? Am I going too fast, too slow? Anything you want me to focus on? All right, let's keep going. Where else can I go to look? I'm gonna look at this blue cell. It's not connected to a number, and so I'm gonna look around it to see what numbers I could connect it to. could maybe, can it reach this 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could reach that 5. It could also reach this 5, but it can't reach this 4 or this 6. And so what that tells me is this blue cell needs to go up to connect to a number. So I'm going to bring it up here. And I also see now it's part of 3, and it's either going to connect to this 5 or this 5. And whichever 5 it connects to, that will be a complete field. So I actually know now that it can't go down at all. Not just because it can't reach the 4, but because to connect it to another field actually finishes this blue field. So I'm going to need a border on this end so I can block it in with a green. And in doing that, I actually finished my field of 8. So that was sort of a bonus of using that logic. So now that this 8 is complete, let's give it its blue border. Blue, blue. And look, I now finished this 4. So let's give this 4 its green border. There we go. I'm looking at this green cell and I'm seeing it could either connect to this set of 6 or this one, and I don't know which one yet. So I'm going to hold off there. Oh, Kelly, I'm glad that worked for you. I'm also starting to get stumped myself, so if anyone sees the next move, feel free to jump in. Let's see, where else can I go in this board? Let's see. I'm seeing one other thing I try to look at, and this one's a little bit harder to explain, is I try to look and see if there's any places where I know that I need 2 colors to break things apart. So for example, I can't have all green around this outside edge because this 4 would ultimately intersect with this 4. And so I know at some point this 7 needs to touch a corner or an edge. The problem is right now I don't know whether it's going to go up or it's going to the left. But that's one thing I'm trying to pay attention to. Kelly says the bottom left. Okay, so let's pay attention to the bottom left. We've got 4 cells here. I think the question is like, can either one of these, do we know that they have to be blue or green? I think it's often tempting in the corners to be like, oh, well, this has to be green because we're right down here with this green, and then it would be complete. But I actually see that I could bring the blue down as well, and then this green would either connect here or could go up here a little. So unless I'm missing something, I'm not sure if we can actually finalize the bottom left. Oh, but one thing we do know is this cell can't be green. So this is a complex piece of logic, but let's talk through it. If this cell was green, I'm going to put it in now just to show you why not. This 6 would need 1 more green. And so that could be any of these. But what you see is it doesn't need 2 more green, which would mean that this one would be a blue, or this one would be a blue. And there's no way for those to access their numbered cell. Oh, thanks for the support, Kelly. So yeah, this one, you're right, Kelly, has to be blue. We know that has to be a blue because at most we can get 2 more green cells down here. We may be able to get 0 green cells down here or 1 green cell down here, but right now we know that this would be a stranded cell if we put a green here. The other thing, let's see if this works. At most we could get 2 blue cells down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we would go up and to the right, or to the right too. Oh, yeah, I think there's something here. Let me think through this. If we had 4, we couldn't go 2 to the right because that would isolate the green. We could go 1 to the right and then up because the green could then come up this way. or we could go up and to the right. Um, or if there were no blue down here, the green would be complete, and this, ooh, I think I went down a logic train that didn't totally make sense, so apologies everyone for potentially leading you down the wrong path there. Um, Joe says, let's see, the top blue cell needs to join a 5. Ah, thank you, Joe. This is why solving together is great too. Um, it's always great to like get a few folks that on a text thread or post to our Inkwell Insiders group of like, I'm stumped. I'm so focused over here on the 7, the 6 that I actually completely missed this next step. So you're right. When I look at this blue cell, right now it's isolated. I know it needs to connect to a number. It can't reach this 7. That is too far away. It can't reach this 5 either. So it must need to come from this 5. Um, let's see. And so I'm trying to think, are there different ways it could reach this 5? Could it go over? Not necessarily. It has to come down, which lets us finish this green. Can't have an isolated cell. This needs to be finished. There we go. That one's finished. Now I can't let these two connect because that would be more than 5. That's going to be a green. So now this set of 3, this sort of like flying V behind this 5, again, I still don't know if it's going to go up or to the left yet, but I know that regardless, that's going to finish that 5 over there. This 5 now has to grow. I don't know if it's going to grow here. Like maybe that's green, maybe it's blue, but regardless, this one is going to be blue. So there we go. That's finished. Let's see. This one could be blue, then this one will be green, then this one will be blue. Or could this be green, green or blue? Okay, I don't think I can finish that quite yet. Let's see. That's 6. Joe, I might be calling on you again here, where we've stumped ourselves again. Let's see. One thing I'm looking at is this 4 and this 5 need to be separated. So I know that a blue has to come through here in some way. It can't come from here, that's too far away. So I know that this 7 is going to have to come over here to separate these two. Then that sort of isolated this 4. I'm going to go to the left. I still need to grow this one. I need to keep growing it. All right, now that cell's complete. Let's blue it in. This one now needs to get connected to something. It's going to connect to that 7. That's great. So now, is that 7 complete? Nope, we're still at 6. Let's see. Now this has sort of been blocked in, and remember I need to keep these two blues separate. So I know this is going to go up either here, or potentially it can't go up both because it also needs to connect to this green cell. Joe, I see you're saying too many greens for that 5. I'm struggling to totally parse the logic here. I definitely know there's something in here that I'm missing, but I might need some help from folks. It's probably a good thing to do a quick check to make sure we're on the right track. Phew. We are on the right track. Oh, I moved past that. Okay, glad I'm not missing anything too wild. Let's see. Like I mentioned at the beginning, one of my strategies too, and I hopefully this doesn't, distract folks who are like really following along and maybe trying to solve on their own. One of my other common strategies is to take a break, to step back. Like we've like sort of been beating our heads against some different areas, and sometimes if it's not just asking a friend, it can be to go play a different game. So I might, play stars and then come back to this and then I see something completely obvious. And so don't force it too much. Like go about your day, come back to these games, and you often like learn and uncover something. Joe is really my lifeblood here today. If we don't go to stars, let's see if we can check this out. The green next to the blue 5 needs to connect to the 6. So the green next to the blue 5. This green, yes, amazing, Joe. So we have an isolated green here. It can't reach the 4, so I know it needs to come to the 6. Um, let's see. And it could come, can it go around in different ways to the 6? If it went, I'm trying to figure out if it needs to come down into this cell. And so first I'm going to sort of mentally imagine, what if it didn't? What if it went out and around? That would be more than 6. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, would that be more than 6? I can't count. Yeah, because that would then connect this cell, which would make it 7. So I know that to get that to the 6, it actually does have to come down. Super helpful. Um, let's see. I also know, Joe, I feel like next time we're going to have you do the live because you're the one here coaching. Does it have to come to the right? Or can it go down? Or neither? Let's see. Oops. Undo. Um, I feel like I'm just beating my head a little bit here. Um, I think I'm going to go back here, and I know that one of these has to go up, which would make a field of 3, and one of these has to come down, which would complete the 5. I have 4 empty cells here. 2 of them are going to be green to complete the green 5. One of them is going to be blue to complete the blue 5. My 4th one, shoot, that didn't help me still. Could be blue on the 7 or blue on this 5. I might take a break, guys. I'm going to go over to SARS. We're going to come back to this in a second. Hopefully that's not too frustrating for you all, but that's how I solve. So here's the real deal. So let's try stars. At first, and a few people mentioned this in the Insiders Facebook group, you're like, what? A 3 cell on a Thursday? This seems far too easy to be a Thursday stars. When we see a 3, we know that to separate 2 of them, you get to cross out all those, put some stars in, drop it through the column. You're like, wow, we are on to a great start. I see a 6. I know that this cell touches all the others. Same with this one, so I couldn't have a star either here or here. Um, so there must be 1 star here. There must be 1 star here. If there's 1 here or here, I get to cancel these out. Oh my gosh, now this is a 6 as well. Remember, this is a bit of a tricky puzzle. It starts easy, but it's going to get a little harder. But when I see this 6, I'm like, well, I can do the same thing. This touches all the cells. This touches all the cells. So now 1 star in here or here, which cancels these 2 out. Oklahoma, yeah. 1 star in here or here, cancels these 2 out. Look, I get to place another star because I knew that there was 1 in here or here, so I get to place a star there. Let's see, I'm looking across here now. I know we can only have 1 star in a 4, which means I must have a star here or here. So cancel, cancel, cancel. See, this is the boost I needed after staring at my fields game. Sometimes you just need to mix it up. Um, Doing that eliminated one of this pair, so now we can put a star here. Remember, always get everything that touches the stars, including the corners, which is a hard thing sometimes after you've been playing fields. Let's see. I'm gonna look up this row now. Um, I know that one has to be in here. We've got one here. And I know I need two in this region. So for these two columns, I already have 4 stars claimed. So I'll repeat that again. There's going to be 2 in this region, 3, 4. I know that these 2 columns need 4 stars, so I can cancel those 3 out because the column is going to be full between the 2 of them. And doing that helped me realize that, look, now I only have 2 spots in that column that are available for stars. We'll cancel everything out that touches those. Now I've got a pair, so we can cancel out those 2 on the other side. Now this weird shape, I don't know, should we call it a backwards flag? The backwards flag shape, we can only have 1 in here, which means we must have 1 here or here, which now we can cancel those 2 out. Where to next? Let's see. I told you this puzzle was going to start easy and get harder, and now we're going to slow down a hair. I've got sort of an upside down T left in here, and it still needs 2 stars. I know that 1 can't be here because it touches all the options, so there must be either 1 or 2 here and 1 here. Let's see. Where else can I pay attention? We've got 1, we've got a bunch of possibilities there. This column, I know I need 1 here. Then I can only have 1 here or here. Lisa got that center column. 1 star must be in these bottom 2, so I can cancel these 2 out. Great. And then Joe pointed out column 8 only has 2 options. There's 1 can go up here and 1 has to go here then. Amazing. So that finished this region. Don't forget the corner. This row is now complete. I think that unlocked us, Lisa and Joe. Thank you so much. So now we can drop a star here. This one touches. There we go. So now this region at the bottom, that pair is done. Let's see. This row needs a star. Now that region is complete. Let's see. Let's pull up this column. 1 star. Therefore, 1 must be here or here. Let's cancel these 2 out. This row, here we go. There's still 3 options, but it needs 2 stars, so it's like that region of 3 that we started with. 1 has to go on either side there. Those touch. Don't forget the corner. This column is complete. This column is complete. This region is complete. Now we're cracking. This region needs 1 more. Let's see. This region, this was a pair before, and now this is the only option in that pair. That cancels this out. There we go. This row is complete. This row is complete. This row is complete. Not bad for stars. The real question now is, can we unlock our fields game when we return to it? So let's go back to today's fields and see what's happening. Let's see. So I was spending a lot of time up here. I'm going to try to go to a different area of the board to stretch my imagination. Thank you, Lisa. I'm doing my stars dance too. I wish we had video for this live, and for our next live, we'll figure out how to make sure we have video. Let's see. All right, so it's possible that this green cell is isolated. It's possible that it connects to this field. It's also possible it connects to this field. But either way, these two sixes can't connect. And so I know that I need some way to get a blue in between these two six fields. And I'm realizing now that that's the thing that's going to unlock this puzzle. Again, we stepped away, we come back, I saw something that I hadn't seen before. And so this 7 doesn't have enough time to come down here and break these two 6 fields up. And so I realize that I'm going to have to lean on this blue 6 to separate these two green 6s. So let's bring this blue across. And my question is it going to go up and over to separate them? Or is it going to do something else? I'm not sure yet, but I know it's going to have to go across. Let's see, the option is either, if it comes here, then the 6 would be complete down here. This would go up. Let's see. Or if this becomes part of the 6, I don't think that's going to work, folks. Let's just think this one through. If the green went up, then the blue would have to come down. And I would only have, I wouldn't be able to get over here to separate my, or would I? Let's see. I might just have to sketch this in and then back it out. So someone gave me a tip recently that I loved, which is when you're going to start doing a little guess and check, just click the same cell a bunch of times. That way when you undo, you sort of undo back to that one cell flicking on and off and on and off, so you don't accidentally undo too far. So let's just click it a few extra times for measure. So now if we do have to backtrack, we can backtrack to that one cell. So I'm trying to understand if the green went up, if I completed my 6 like this, I would need blue here, blue here, blue here. Oh wait, I know already that I can't do that. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, wait, oh, now I'm confusing myself again. But if I did that, then I would need the blue to come down to fill in, which means that I can't bring the blue up and over. Does that make sense, folks? That the 6 is complete and I don't have enough blue to get over here. So let's undo. There we are. There's that blinking cell. So we know that we undid right to that spot. We're going to need to bring the blue over to break these two 6s up. The 6 green is going to finish down here. This cell now has to come up. There we go. We're almost there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, are we going to get stuck again? It's still not complete. Let's see. I thought that was going to unlock this puzzle, but this puzzle is going to be hard till the end. Let's see, where next? I also don't want to let these two connect. So I know the green blue is going to have to break this up somehow and touching on the diagonals as they usually do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Blue could come here, blue could come here. No, blue can't come here because if blue came here, we'd have to green across. So this one is green. That finishes our 6. There we go. Look at this. This 6 is complete. Isolated cell. This 5 is complete. Let's finish this 7. Block it in. The green is complete. I'm doing my happy dance. Thank you all. 28 minutes with one check. That was a hard puzzle. It was only a Thursday. Solving live is also a little bit stressful. I really appreciate all the help in the comments. Let me know if this was helpful. If you guys want to see more videos like this, we love solving with you. We love when you post when you're stuck. So keep using our Facebook Insiders group to do that. And happy solving today. we'll see if any one of you wants to post a solve video for tomorrow's puzzle. Thank you all so much. I'm gonna go off here.